Welcome everyone to the first ever episode of Unrooted Golf Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than the new head coach of Menlo College men's and women's golf, Robert Jan. Robert, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Sure. Now let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. I think the natural first question to ask is, how did you get into golf?
Yeah, well, I think growing up in Chicago, you got to play a couple sports because it's frozen about 6 months a year. So I played hockey in the winter and golf in the summer.
So about how long have you been golfing, would you say? How early did you start?
Well, I'm going to show my age now, for about almost 50 years, so wow. Quite a long time. Yeah.
Now I have to ask about hockey. How did you pick that up at about the same time, and how long did you play?
Played all the way through. I was about 22, 23 years old, a little bit of professional as well.
Nice.
So,
Blackhawks fan?
Big Blackhawks fan, you bet.
Now we got a problem here.
Okay.
I'm on the shark side, so we got a little bit of a problem with that.
Yeah.
I guess that goes right into the next question. You're from the Chicago area.
Right.
How difficult is it golfing in Chicago, the Windy City?
Yeah. Well, Chicago's, I think, a lot different because compared to California, it's just flat. You know, it's super flat, and so the rough's a lot longer. I think it's a little tougher to get the golf ball down. There's a lot more trees, a lot of tree-lined golf courses. But I want to say it's even a little harder to play golf in California because of the difference in the topography and the slopes. Yeah. You know, so.
And especially with what we've been getting here lately with all the rain and stuff. Rain. I mean, you can't golf for the most part. And
sunny California, right?
Yeah, that's not what you were expecting, was it?
No, it's not what they told me.
I've seen you sporting some Chicago Cubs gear around the office. Not too much. You kind of keep it out, but I've seen it a few times. What was it like to finally see the Cubs win the World Series last year?
Yeah, it was just amazing, really. I mean, you got to be careful around here with the Giant fans. Yeah. But for the Cubs to win, pretty emotional, really. Yeah. I mean, I've been a Cubs fan for a long time. Probably been to a couple hundred games, actually.
Really?
A lot of time in Wrigley Field. So.
How close to Wrigley were you?
I lived about 10 miles, just about 10 miles out. So yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, most of my life.
And you were a Radix Cup team member 6 times, and you captured the IPGA Club Professional Championship in your golfing career. What are some of the proudest moments for you personally on the course?
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of success playing tournament golf, and a lot of great memories. I think now my focus is more on helping young players improve and get better, and that's really what really drives me. So I'm excited about kind of what's going on now and what I've done over the past few years coaching in the future. So.
Yeah. Now, this is not the first time you've been in the NAIA. You were a coach at Ashford University in Iowa, so you've been around the NAIA a little bit before.
Right.
What made Menlo feel like a home to you?
Yeah. Well, I think more than anything, just, when I met Keith, the athletic director, I love the storyline here. Being able to come in and kind of turn things around and really start a new chapter for men's and women's golf here at Menlo, was an exciting thing for me. Had a few other job offers, but just couldn't turn this one down.
And we're certainly glad to have you here. And you've made a heavy push for recruiting in the very short amount of time that you've been here. You've been bringing in top recruits from really all over the world in your short time here. What are some of the characteristics that you're looking for in potential recruits?
Well, you got to look at talent first. Obviously, I like to bring guys in that can play. So I look for a certain scoring average. But I think more than anything, I'm looking for an athlete that is ready to continue to improve. A lot of college athletes kind of put the brakes on when they go to college. I want guys that are going to be able to train different. They're not opposed to trying new things, and just they got to want to get better. They got to want to improve.
Menlo will be hosting a trio of tournaments at reputable golf courses in the next year. What will that experience be like, not only for you, but for the golf program as a whole?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be great. I mean, we have 3 great locations set up. We're playing down at PGA West, playing the Nicholas Tournament course there. That'll be amazing. We're hosting with LMU LA, so mostly a Division I tournament, and then just a few NAIA schools. We're also hosting at Pasatiempo, which is down in Santa Cruz, one of the top 12 golf courses you can play in the entire world. Alistair McKenzie, same designer as Augusta National. In fact, when you're playing the golf course, it looks a lot like Augusta. And then we're also hosting at Silverado Resort. Silverado Resort is the host for the Safeway this year for the PGA Tour, and another just a great venue. And I think when you're building a program, I think having venues like that really helps grow the program and bring recruits in. So we're excited about those venues and looking forward to that.
Now, how did you go about booking these venues?
Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Of course.
So just, through contacts through the years, just, try to find the right people and see what you can make happen.
Now, I'm not much of a golfer, so I don't know what it is that, all the little bits and pieces about technique. So what do you preach on the golf course to your golfers?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to give my secrets out, but, I've had a lot of success, and I think my process is more kind of like Moneyball. We work a lot on percentages. I'd like to take players and bring them in and then work on percentages. Where do you need help with? What do you need to work on? Rather than traditional, play golf and go to the range, I try to find guys that, what are your weaknesses and how we can improve upon those.
So in that case, is it almost advantageous to have a smaller roster so you can spend more time one-on-one with each golfer?
Yeah, well, if they're all good, yes. but absolutely, yeah. No.
Competitions are starting up this week, and they will be continuing through the rest of the semester. What are you expecting from both programs this spring?
Yeah, well, I think they've both been working very hard. Well, I can tell you they have. I mean, I've tried to train both the men and the women's program to be ready for the next few weeks, and all I can ask is they go out there and they don't give up. It's golf's a game where you're out there for 5 hours, 6 hours, sometimes 12 when we're playing a 36-hole event with the men, and you got to be able to just keep trying on every shot, and sometimes that's hard to do if things aren't going your way, maybe even a little bit like life. So we're excited about beginning next week.
Now, there are already a lot of improvements that were made in the fall semester, so of course they're looking to continue that over here into the spring. All right, let's transition to the final segment of the show. I call it Brownie Bites. Coach, I'm going to ask you 3 random rapid-fire style questions.
Okay.
Answer them as completely as you can.
Okay.
Question number 1, the craziest thing you've ever experienced on the golf course is?
Well, I don't know about crazy, but when I was younger, it's been a few years now, I played in a 100-hole marathon. Oof. Played with another golf professional, and we shot a total of 43 under par. 2 guys.
43 under.
43 under for 100 holes.
Wow.
So pretty solid. That's when I was good.
You're going to call that a world record?
Well, I don't know about a world record. Just had a lot of fun. Not a very difficult golf course, but just a super fun day. It's something to remember forever.
Question number 2, what is the most outlandish outfit you've seen from a golfer?
When you look at John Daly, out there on the PGA Tour and now the Senior Tour as well, you kind of scratch your head a little bit. So, just take a look at John. I think he'll help you with that.
Do you have any of those characters on your team?
Fortunately, no.
Question number 3, which Menlo athletic staff member, aside from me, would be the worst golfer?
Yeah, I think this probably is a loaded question. My past other athletic departments that I've worked with, I think soccer. The soccer guys have a hard time with a golf club because they do everything with their feet and their legs. So, the other sports that are hand-eye coordination sports, I think the guys are a little bit better. So I haven't seen the play here yet because I've only been here a short time, but I'm sure we'll find out.
We'll have to bring out the head men's golf coach, Keith Lambert, and bring him in for a session, see what he's got, huh?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Challenge accepted. Keith, if you're watching this, you've been issued a challenge from head coach Robert
right.
Jan. Robert, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
All right.
And folks, just as a reminder, the golf season will begin on February 26th. They'll be traveling to Santa Clarita Robinson Ranch Golf Club, where Menlo College men's golf will be participating in the Masters College Spring Invite. That's a 2-day event, and it will be on February 27th and the 28th. Well, don't forget to stick around for next week's show when head coach Robert Jan will be choosing the next interviewee on Menlo College Unrooted Golf Edition. I'm Brian Brownfield. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
How I wish you were here. We're just